What is up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's your boy, Mocho, and we are back reading the Holy Scripture today. It is day 21, and today we are going to be covering Genesis 47 to 47 to the rest of 50. Look at that. We're going to finish it. We're going to finish the rest of Genesis. So 47 to 50. Nope, damn. All right. So let's begin. It's going to be a long reading, I believe. Oh yeah, it's a super long reading. Well, I'll be damned. Alright, well, let's begin. Jacob's and Joseph's last days. 17 years have passed since Jacob, brought his family into Egypt. Nearing death, Israel is anxious and to pronounce final blessings upon his sons and grandsons to ensure his burial in the tomb where Abraham and Isaac were buried. Okay. Israel's death marks the end of the early patriarchs, and attention begins to focus more broadly upon the nation which bears Israel's name. Joseph's death is also recorded after the third generation of Israelis is born into Egypt. Israel requests Canaan burial. When the time drew near for Israel to die, he called upon his son Joseph and said to him, "If I have found favor in your eyes, put your hand under my thigh and promise that you will show me kindness and faithfulness. Do not bury me in Egypt, but when I rest with my father, carry me out of Egypt and bury me where they are buried. I will do as you say," he said. "Swear to me," he said. Then Joseph swore to him, and Israel worshipped as he leaned on top of his staff. Joseph's inheritance assured. Sometime later, Joseph was told, "Your father is still ill." So he took his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, along with him. When Jacob was told, "Your son Joseph has come to you," Israel relied his strength and sat up on the bed. "Jacob and Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and there he blessed me and said to me, I am going to make you fruitful and increase your numbers. I will make you a community of peoples, and I will give this land as an everlasting possession to your descendants after you. Now then, your two sons born to you in Egypt before I came to you here will be reckoned as mine. Ephraim and Manasseh will be mine, just as Reuben and Simon are mine, and any children born to you after them will be yours. In the territory they inherit, they will be reckoned under the names of their brothers. As I was returning to Paddan, to the sorrow, Rachel died in the land of Canaan while we were still on the way, a little distance from Ephrath. So I buried her beside the road to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Sons brought to Israel. When Israel saw the sons of Joseph, he asked, "Who are these?" "They are the sons God has given me here," Joseph said to his father. Then Israel said, "Bring them to me, so I may bless them." Now Israel's eyes were failing because of old age, and he could hardly see. So Joseph brought his sons close to him, and his father kissed them and embraced them. Israel said to Joseph, I have never expected to see your face again, and now God has allowed me to see your children too. Then Joseph removed from the Then Joseph removed them from Israel's knees and bowed down with his face to the ground. And Joseph took both of them, Ephraim and his right on his right toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh on his left toward Israel's right hand, and brought them close to him. Israel blessed his sons. But Israel reached out his right hand and put it out on Ephraim's head. Though he was the younger, and crossing his arms, he put his left hand on Manasseh's head, even though Manasseh was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, May God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked faithful, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this day, the angel who has delivered me from all harm, may he bless these boys. May they be called by my name and the names of the fathers Abraham and Isaac, and may they increase greatly on earth. Ephraim over Manasseh. When Joseph saw his father placing his right hand on Ephraim's head, he was displeased. So he took hold of his father's hand and moved it to Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. Joseph said to him, No, my father, this is the one. This one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He too will become a people, and he too will become great. Nevertheless, his younger brother will be greater than he, and his descendants will become a group of nations. He blessed them that day and said, In your name will Israel pronounce this blessing. May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh. So he put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Special land for Joseph. Then Israel said to Joseph, I am about to die, but God will be with you and take you back to the land of your fathers. And to you I give one more ridge of land than to your brothers. The ridge I took from the Amorites with my sword and my bow. Israel pronounces blessings. And Jacob called for his sons and said, Gather around so I can tell you what has happened to you in the days to come. Assemble and listen. Sons of Jacob, listen to your father Israel. Reuben the unstable. Reuben, you are my firstborn, my might, the first sign of my strength, excelling in honor, excelling in power, turbulent as the waters, and you will no longer excel, for you went up into your father's bed, onto my couch, and defiled it. Simon and Levi, the wrathful. Simon and Levi are brothers, their swords and their weapons of violence. Let me not enter their council, let me not join their assembly, for they have killed men in their anger, and hamstrung oxen as they please. Curse their anger and fierce and their fury so cruel. I will scatter them in Jacob and disperse them in Israel. Judah the ruler. Judah, your brothers will praise you. Your hand will be the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons will bow down to you. You are a lion's cub, Judah. You return from the prey, my son. Like a lion crouches and lies down, like a lioness who dares to rouse him. The scalper will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he is whom it belongs shall come, and the obedience of the nations shall be this. He will tether his donkey to a vine, his colt to his closest branch. And he will wash his garments in wine, his robes in blood of grapes. His eyes will be darker than wine, his teeth whiter than milk. Zebulun the seaman. Zebulun will live by the seashore and become a haven for ships. His borders will extend towards Sidon. Issachar the indolent. Issachar is a raw-boned donkey lying down among the sheep pens. When he sees how good is his resting place and how pleasant is his land, he will bend his shoulder to the burden and submit to forced labor. Dan the judge. Dan will provide justice for his people. As one of the tribes of Israel, Dan will be a snake by the roadside, a viper along the path, that bites the horse's heels, so that the rider trembles backward. I look forward for your deliverance, Lord. Glad will be attacked by a band of raiders, but he will attack them at their heels. Asher the farmer. Asher food will be rich. He will provide delicacies fit for a king. Naphtali the equivalent. Nephtali is a doe set free that the bears beautiful for fawns. Joseph the blessed. Joseph is fruitful vine, a fruitful vine near a spring, whose branches climb over a wall. With bitterness archers attack him. They shoot at him with hostility, but his bow remains steady. His arms stayed limber because of his hand and the mighty one of Jacob, because of the shepherd, the rock of Israel, because of your father's God, who helps you, because of the Almighty who blesses you with blessings of the skies above, blessings of the deep springs below, blessings of the beasts of the womb. Your father's blessings are greater than the blessings of the ancient mountains, than the bounty of the age-old hills. Let all these rest on the head of Joseph, on the brow of the prince among his brothers. Benjamin the aggressor. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. In the morning he devours the prey, and in the evening he divides the plunder. Mutual directions given. All these were 12 tribes of Israel, and this is what their father said to them when he blessed them, giving each of their blessings appropriate to him. Then he gave them these instructions. I am about to be gathered to my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave in the field of Ephron, the Hittite, the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre and Canaan, which Abraham brought along with the field as a burial place from Ephron, the Hittite. There Abraham and his wife Sarah were buried. There Isaac and his wife Rebekah were buried. And there I buried Leah. The field and the cave in it were bought from the Hittites. Israel, Jacob died. When Jacob has finished giving instructions to his sons, he drew up his feet onto the bed, breathed his last, and was gathered to his people. Israel embalmed. Joseph threw himself on his father and wept over him and kissed him. Then Joseph directed the physicians in the service to embalm his father Israel. So the physicians embalmed him, taking a full 40 days, for that was the time required for embalming, and the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. Procession to burial. When the days of mourning had passed, Joseph said to the Pharaoh's court, If I have found favor in your eyes, speak to the Pharaoh for me. Tell him, my father made me swear an oath, and said, I am about to die. Bury me in the tomb I dug for myself in the land of Canaan. Now let me go up and bury my father, then I will return. Pharaoh said, Go up and bury your father, as he made you swear to do. So Joseph went up to bury his father, and Pharaoh's all officials accompanied him. The dignitaries of the court, all of the dignitaries of Egypt, besides the members of Joseph's household and his brothers and those belonging to his father's household, only their children and their flocks and their herds left in Goshen. Chariots and horsemen also went up with him. It was a very large company, mourning and burial. When they reached the threshing floor of Atad near Jordan, they lamented loudly and bitterly. And there Joseph observed a 7-day period of mourning for his father. When the Canaanites who lived there saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad, they said, The Egyptians are holding a solemn ceremony of mourning. That is why that place near the Jordan is called Abel Mizraim. So Jacob's sons did as he commanded them. They carried him to the land of Canaan and buried him in the cave in the field of Machpelah near Mamre, which Abraham had bought along with the fields as a burial place from Ephron the Hittite. After burying his father, Joseph returned to Egypt, together with his brothers and all the others who had gone with him to bury his father. Joseph allays fears. When Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, they said, What if Joseph holds a grudge against us and pays us back for all the wrongs we did to him? So they sent word to Joseph, saying, Your father left these instructions before he died. This is what you are to say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and the wrongs they committed in treating you so badly. Now please forgive them the sins of the servants of God, of your father. When their messengers came to him, Joseph wept. His brothers then came and threw themselves down before him. We are your slaves, they said. But Joseph said to them, Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intend to harm me, but God intended it for good and accomplished what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children. And he reassured them and spoke kindly of them. Joseph's great-grandchildren. Joseph stayed in Egypt, along with all his father's family. He lived 110 years and saw the third generation of Ephraim's children. Also the children of Machir, son of Manasseh, were placed at birth on Joseph's knees. Joseph arranges return. Then Joseph said to his brothers, I'm about to die, but God surely came to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised an oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Joseph dies. And Joseph made the Israelites swear on an oath and said, God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place. So Joseph died at the age of 110. After they embalmed him, he was placed in a coffin in Egypt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was today's reading. So let's do a quick reflection. So both Jacob and Joseph, Israel and Joseph, they both die, in the story today. So, they got their father's blessings before he died. He blessed so many, I think they said 12 of his sons, he blessed them. A lot of people got blessed in today's story. I'm honestly I cannot remember everybody's names. It's just so much. It's honestly a lot to take in. But as I reflect on it, Joseph and Jacob die. leaving their blessings, and they want to be buried in the promised land of where Abraham and everybody else was buried. The land of the cave where they bought from the Hittites. But yeah, so it's crazy. That was Genesis. So I literally just completed the entire book of Genesis now, and we're going on to the establishment of nation. And this is, I don't know what EX actually is, so I'm gonna have to look that up. So excuse my ignorance, but I'm learning. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's reading. I did. If you could, go down and hit subscribe. I messed up and forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video, so go and hit fucking subscribe. I got a new subscriber. I saw that. So thank you for your subscription. You are proudly appreciated. So anyways, yeah, I'm done. So you already know who it is. It's your boy, Mucho, and it's time for me to what? Skedaddle on out of here. Peace.